What's up, guys? Chase Oliver 68 here. In spirit that Raw was in Las Vegas tonight, I decided to dress up like some poker player. Maybe I buttoned up the shirt wrong. Who cares? It's a Raw review. Do I need to really look that fancy? I wore a button shirt for you guys. Please love me. But other than that, let's get started with the Raw review. You know it's WrestleMania season because we got a big time return later tonight. But first, we start off Raw very strong. CM Punk comes out and he's pissed the fuck off. He wants his shot. He says that he got screwed. He beat the people's champ. But then, no chance. Suck that what you got, Vince McMahon. And this was vintage McMahon. Vince McMahon wasn't taking shit from no one. He told CM Punk to shut up. And he told Paul Heyman to shut up. Paul Heyman and CM Punk got poomed by Vince McMahon at the end of the segment, and we realized that Vince McMahon said he had some video evidence that Paul Heyman is guilty in this whole situation because Paul Heyman was going to get talented. You know, he was going to get his talented orientation tonight of what he's been doing on Raw by Mr. McMahon tonight. So I guess that evidence is going to be playing on later tonight for Monday Night Raw. So that should be cool. CM Punk did a good job in this segment. Crazy, delusional. Reminds me of Robert Roode and Austin Aries from TNA right now, who I find are the most enjoyable superstars in TNA. And I'm enjoying what CM Punk is doing, especially what he did later tonight. Alright, so with the Raw Roulette, we got some roulette matches. And I'm going to go by these fast. In all honesty, I didn't care. We got my boy Randy Orton taking on Antonio Cesaro. It turned out that there was a special guest referee. No surprise, it was The Miz. Miz won the special guest referee. Whoop-de-doo. Randy Orton ends up winning, and then at the end of the match, The Miz attacks Antonio Cesaro. This is leading up to hopefully more Miz and Cesaro goodness because I do enjoy their feud, and I think it's kind of stupid that they had a match on the pre-show of the Royal Rumble. I mean, it's a U.S. Championship match, and they had it on the pre-show? Come on, man! Maybe you guys don't watch Monday Night Football. You're not going to get this reference. So, Ryback, you know, he spun the wheel. He got a make me laugh, match. And he was going against the primetime players. And in the end of it all, pretty much, Ryback just got a laugh because he kicked the primetime player's ass. And then he kicked Matt Striker's ass. And then, I'm just saying, for this promo segment, it was good that they showed Ryback doesn't give a shit who you are. He's going to kick your ass. That's what the Ryback character should be. And so, I did like this segment a lot. Now, I know, I did like the segment. Even though it's kind of weird, I did like it a lot. Bo Dallas taking on Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett got pretty much house guest choice, or, well, big brother over here. My bad. He got superstar choice, and he chose Bo Dallas. Makes sense to me, but what doesn't make sense to me is why in the blue hell on WWE main event they're having an IC Cup tournament. They're having an IC title tournament, and Bo Dallas is not involved. But whatever. This match, it wasn't really that great, but it did show what Bo Dallas can do in the ring, and Bo Dallas did win the match, which is good for Bo Dallas, and it makes me very, very happy that Bo Dallas is getting this kind of push and recognition. I just don't understand why they're having this IC Cup and tournament. Maybe they're saving Bo Dallas for WrestleMania, and they're going to have the IC Cup tournament winner face Wade Barrett for the IC Championship. That's what I'm guessing. Oh, yeah, and Randy Orton's in it, so I don't know. Do you think Orton's going to job to anyone in that IC Cup tournament? I mean, it'd be kind of weird. Maybe this is how they're going to turn Randy Orton heel. Maybe he feeds with Bo Dallas? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they're going to do with the IC belt. Cody Rhodes was not lucky with the wheel. He got John Cena as his opponent. So you know what that means. Cena ain't losing a match of Cody Rhodes on Raw. You thought Cena was going to lose to Cody Rhodes on Raw? You must be ridiculous. John Cena beats Cody Rhodes on Raw. No surprise. Match wasn't that great. It was actually short. I love the segment, though, during the match where Cody Rhodes is like, no, I'm better than this. And he walks away. Now, that was a good segment. I really did like that because Cody Rhodes should not be subjected to this BS. But Cena ends up being Super Cena, drags him back in. And then afterwards, we get a Cena promo, and Cena just keeps on talking and talking. He's like, oh, I don't know what belt I should go for. Da, 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 da. Well, no shit, Cena. Don't try to fool us. We know what belt you're going for, dumbass. We ain't going to say, oh, Cena's going to face Alberto Del Rio for the world. We know you're going for the WWE title. Don't sugarcoat this. So Cena's pretty much saying he's going for the WWE title at WrestleMania. No surprise there. Everyone knew he was. So we're either going to get Rock versus Cena 2, CM Punk versus Rock versus Cena, or CM Punk versus Rock versus Cena, or Cena versus Punk straight up. Who knows? I already said triple threat twice. Who cares? But the one thing that I was hoping for this segment before Cena actually said his match that he wanted to take, all of a sudden, gone, the Undertaker came out. That would have been legit. But maybe you save Taker for later on, especially for like someone like a CM Punk or anyone else that wants to be with Undertaker. So John Cena pretty much said that he's going to fight for the WWE title. But then out came the Shield. And so I was like, oh no, please don't let Cena destroy the Shield. The Shield needs something big happening for them. I mean, yeah, they're doing cool stuff now, but they need something big. If they get jobbed out by the Breakfast Club here, it's going to hurt them. I mean, because all of a sudden, you know, the Shield, yeah, they do stuff, but when Ryback or Sheamus or Randy Orton comes out, they get their asses kicked. And so the Shield comes out, beats Cena's ass. Out comes Sheamus. Okay, they beat Sheamus' ass. We've seen this shit before. All of a sudden, Ryback comes out, and I said, oh, here comes the Shield. They're going to lose now. All of a sudden, the Shield beats down Ryback. Then they beat down Sheamus again, and then they beat down John Cena and give him the triple powerbomb. And I said, wow, what a great rub for the Shield. This is awesome. Finally, the heels are doing something useful in the WWE. When's the last time you've seen heels actually do shit in the WWE over the baby faces? This is legit. I like that. Great segment overall. It makes the Shield look legit. And not to mention, it shows that those Breakfast Club members have some weaknesses. Some. Not a lot. But they do have some weaknesses. Alright, so we got some Brodus Clay, Tensai. Tensai was dancing in lingerie. I don't know why, but it was kind of weird. And we get a Ron Simmons sighting. So that was a good match. That was good. So let's just move on forward. I thought it was a funny segment overall. Why not just make Tensai into a joke anyways? He is a joke. We get Big Show versus Del Rio in a body slam match. And pretty much Big Show ends up just destroying Del Rio. Match doesn't really have much purpose to it. It's just pretty much showing that Big Show and Del Rio is still continuing on. So right now, the World Heavyweight title scene is kind of floating. I don't know what they're trying to float for. If they're trying to float for, you know, Ryback to enter it, or Chris Jericho to enter it, or Randy Orton to enter it, or even Dolph Ziggler to enter it. I don't know why, but the World Heavyweight title belt is just kind of floating in the middle of the ocean right now. Like, they don't know what they're doing for it for WrestleMania. So, I don't know what they're doing with the World Heavyweight title match. Honestly, did not care about the segment. Lumberjaw match. Tamina Snuka versus Caitlyn. No contest. All the divas decided to beat each other up. But speaking of divas, we got the women's champion, one of the greatest divas of my generation, Trish Stratus, entering the WWE Hall of Fame. And let me just say this. I love Trish Stratus. I love me some Trish. Trish is a beautiful woman. She was one of my favorite women's champions next to Lita. She made the women's division get such high standards. No other diva today in the WWE has the potential to surpass Trish Stratus and what she did for that division. And really, to be honest, she is one of my favorite women's champions and one of the ultimate women's champions in the WWE history. You can say she's the best ever, or you can say that, you know, she's one of the best. But there's no doubt she does belong in the WWE Hall of Fame. I kind of wish that maybe it was later down the road, back like where I'm 28 or something years old. But I am 20 years old, and I am happy that I am seeing one of my childhood lovers. And yes, I did love Trish Stratus. Don't tell me you guys never just looked on WWE.com Trish Stratus pictures, because I know I did. But yes, Trish is now a WWE Hall of Famer. Moving on forward, The Rock, WWE champion, comes out. It was beautiful to see him grab that title, throw it up high, and he cuts a promo talking about the people. Out comes CM Punk. CM Punk starts bitching at The Rock, saying, I'm going to give you a rematch. You don't deserve my title. And it was a good promo from Punk. And then The Rock called him a punk-ass bitch, and then he was just saying, why don't you come down the ring and try to take it away from me if you say it's your title? And The Rock said that he's just going to, you know, kick his ass again. And then CM Punk just goes up the ramp. He just starts saying, you know what? I will be a punk-ass bitch. cursing isn't cool. I will grant you a rematch in my time schedule. And he names all the house shows he's going to be at. He names the next week's Monday Night Raw, the location where it's at. And he says, if that doesn't fit your time schedule, then we can just do it 3 weeks from now at Elimination Chamber. Just know you're lucky to get a title shot at my title. You're lucky for me to give you a rematch. And that's good shit from CM Punk. He's acting delusional. He still thinks he's the champion. There's good common sense on why CM Punk should still feel he's the champion. He feels like a legit heel right now with how he's talking. He reminds me a lot of Austin Aries and Bobby Roode's work in TNA when they lost the TNA belts. They still thought they were champions. And I'm loving this CM Punk. This CM Punk, like I said, where has this CM Punk been through his year-long title reign? If this CM Punk, the badass that we're seeing now, stepped up to the plate a long time ago, I would take him seriously as a champion. I know most of y'all took CM Punk seriously as WWE champion. It's good to be happy for the guy holding the belt for 435 days, but put to the example and put to the bigger picture, he just wasn't that great of a heel when he was the WWE champion, at least in my opinion. If he was a great heel in your opinion, great, awesome, good for you. But for me, he plain out sucked for most of his heel run. I liked him better as a tweener, in all honesty. Moving on forward, Damian Sandow versus Sheamus in a tables match. And this is where I just said, what the hell? Sheamus got his ass kicked earlier, yet he's still fine to go to a table match and win the damn thing? That makes no sense. Sandow should have won this match. Simple as that. Next up, we got a karaoke that my boy Drew McIntyre thankfully interrupted, but still got his ass kicked near the end. Who cares? You don't need to know who was involved. It was irrelevant anyways, and it was terrible. But Drew McIntyre was involved, and that's all that matters. Right? Isn't that right? Fuck, man. See, I'm too used to Little Chris, man. Gotta give that fucker a call back. Maybe. Do you guys want Little Chris back? Because right now, normally, when I'm talking about R-Truth, I turn to Little Chris, and he put some input. But without Little Chris now, it's just like, the hell, man? I have no one. It's just that I feel empty inside. Little Chris was a real human being. He wasn't fake. Man, it just feels weird, talking about a favorite and not having a little buddy to, help you out. Man, I miss Little Chris. Just give me a moment. All right, moving on forward. So, Chris Jericho comes back. He's back in the WWE for a short-term deal, apparently. And Dolph Ziggler comes out, starts talking down on Chris Jericho, and pretty much Jericho fires back. Vicky Guerrero rolls the wheel, and it's a strange bedfellows match, and it's going to be Kane and Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler and Chris Jericho. Kind of a weird name for it, but whatever. So pretty much Kane and Daniel Bryan win this match because Chris Jericho and Dolph Ziggler cannot get along. Gee, no surprise there. So let's move on forward. I guess Chris Jericho and Dolph Ziggler are going to feud. That's the right feud, but in a sense, meh, let's just move on. Now let's get on to the main event. Oh, baby. This is WrestleMania season. And if I'm laughing, this has to refer to one human being in the near future. So we get Vince McMahon coming to the ring. And so Paul Heyman. Vince McMahon verbally beats down Paul Heyman like only Vincent Kennedy McMahon can. Because you know why? He's the boss, baby. Paul Heyman tries to defend himself. I thought he had some very good funny one-liners, especially after what we saw. So we saw the video evidence. It turns out Paul Heyman was behind Brad Maddox and the Shield the whole time. Oh my God. What a shocker. Poor Brad Maddox got beaten down. Brad Maddox, beef mode, Shield looking so badass, beating him down. Boom! Brad Maddox falls, cameraman falls, and Paul Heyman looks guilty. And then Paul Heyman says, I have a New York Jewish accent. There's a bunch of impersonators here in Las Vegas, and this shit is about to go down. Vince McMahon is about to say it, and then all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar is back, baby. He is back. You know what that means. Yes. So Brock Lesnar makes his way down the ring. I'm sorry, guys. When it comes to this individual, not Brock Lesnar, you know who I'm talking about. Brock Lesnar comes down to the ring, looks at Vince McMahon multiple times. Multiple times. Heyman saying, don't do it. Lesnar's like, don't tell me what to do. He's pretty much telling Heyman, don't tell me what to do. And Heyman backs off. And all of a sudden, F5's Vince and Kennedy McMahon. And I know most of you guys who are newly subscribed to me saying, why are you laughing so much? Because we all know what this means. It is the return of the one and only Triple H. He's coming back, baby. He's getting his revenge. You just don't F5 Mr. McMahon without Triple H coming back soon. Yes. Oh, God. I cannot wait. WrestleMania season is here. You know it. You know it's here when Triple H is coming back. Oh, I'm sorry. When it comes to Triple H and some of the shit he does nowadays, you can't help but to laugh at how much power and how much spotlight this man needs. But other than that, this Raw was semi-decent. I didn't really think there was a lot of high points to this Raw. Neither did I think there was a lot of stupid low points. Yes, I know a lot of fans are going to say, what about some of the segments of the show? I normally look at it this way. Yeah, the segments were corny, but then again, it's a Raw roulette. It shows that 3-hour Raws are not that great. But I did like the CM Punk and Rock interactions. I especially love Brock Lesnar F5 Vince McMahon, because we all know what that means. Oh, God. Some of the stuff, Chris Jericho, Dolph Ziggler stuff, at least we're getting a pattern towards WrestleMania. We're getting a bigger picture of what could happen at the grandest stage of them all. And really, in all honesty, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do for next week's Raw, especially because I feel that there's going to be some interesting aspects to it. But overall, this Raw was lackluster. It wasn't really a strong show. I would give it a C, if anything. So that's pretty much it. Anyways, guys, you know how I'm excited to see God come back, Triple H, for anyone who doesn't know. But comment down below your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Subscribe. You know, there's a channel icon. It should be on the bottom left right here, bottom right. I don't know. I just put it up there. Subscribe to my channel either down below or clicking the channel icon. Really would like it. Also, like this video if you want to. You don't have to. Send your video responses, and I'll share them on my Twitter page, and I'll also comment on them. Give you guys some tips if you guys want some tips to make YouTube videos. Anyways, Chase Oliver 68 is out of here. I'll see you all. I'll see you all later. It's Biggest Loser time, and it's Chase's favorite show.